Hi everyone. Oh, I'm live. Okay, I've been working here. The internet's been going in and out. So let me know when you're here. And today I am Jenna and this is Apple Dolly. And today we are making an angel. So we just finished up the nativity. So today we're making an angel, and I was just working on wings for another one. Okay, let me put this aside. So what we're using is another table leg. And we have a bun foot. Oops, it's not on there. I haven't put it on yet. We have a bun foot. This is a 3-inch, and this is a 14-inch table leg. The leg is supposed to go like this. There's a screw where you can screw it into your table. And this has a screw, which I've removed both screws because we're not going to use those, that you can screw it into something, whatever you use these for on furniture. So I've removed the screw on both. But we're turning the leg upside down. So the screw, where the screw was, is our bottom. So that we're going to set it just like that. And we're going to take the bun foot and we're going to glue it to the top, just like that. And what we're gluing it with is a combination of hot glue, hi Mom, and the Fix-All, or E6000, or a permanent glue. You can even use a wood glue on this. But the hot glue will make it permanent. The hot glue will make it instant, and the other glue will make it permanent. So just like the nativity, this is how we're starting out. And we're going to whitewash it just like we did on Mary and Joseph. Okay? So this is what we've got. This has already been whitewashed. Got glue strings everywhere. And this is what we're starting out with. Now you can permanently wash it. You can stain this if you want. You can whitewash it and then put a light stain over top of it, which is very pretty. But I like the whitewash because you can really see. Can you see it? See the wood grain? The wood grain really comes through. So that's what this is how far we are. So we're going to take this and put it aside, and I'm going to show you some of the prep work that I did yesterday because we couldn't have done it on this live. So we've already done the corkscrew ribbon. Okay? I took this flat lace, and it's all wrinkled. If I was going to sew with this right now, I would have to press this out because it is like really wrinkled. I bought a huge bag of this from somebody, and it's just pieces. So what I did was, in a Ziploc bag, and you see I still got stuff in there. I got to finish this. Now I did 20 yards of this lace. This is the only piece that I have not done yet, that I haven't put in my bag. You're not going to use 20 yards. You're just going to use maybe a yard, yard and a half if you're going to do what I'm doing. So what I did was I put glue, white glue, and water in here. And I put a little bit of instant coffee just to tint it. And I scrunched that up to mix it really well. And then I filled my bag with this lace. And I just moved it around in here and moved it around in here. And you may have to add a little bit extra water. And so what you come out with is it's coffee stained. And it has glue in it. So yesterday I did 100 straws. Take a straw and wind it around. Just wind it around. And then set this aside to dry. Set it on some parchment paper. Now this took all night to dry. So to get it off the straw, you just twist the straw in the opposite direction, then you wound the lace or whatever you're using for hair. You can do this with raffia, yarn, ribbons, whatever you want to use for hair. You can do this with mop. You know how they do the mop hair? You can do it with mop. And just twist it, and it comes right off your straw. And you got a curly Q. Okay? So I have a whole bunch of these in here. And that is our hair. So I prep worked that. I also dipped into my bag a doily. And can you hear it? It has the glue mixture in it. So we need one of these. And I just set this on parchment to dry. And this took about an hour for it to actually dry, this little doily. So I have some more of these. I'm just going to take off the straw because I've been working on these, so we need some more hair. I have trays of this sitting around drying. But all it was this little flat lace. You find it in the sewing department. But what we need is a whole bunch of different laces, and we need some string pearls because we're going to dress up our wings. So that's what we've got. There she is. When we did our nativity, we had little pieces of craft stick that we cut off. We're going to use these little pieces today. If you don't have them, just cut up a craft stick, and I'll show you how, what sizes you need. Now you can make this as dressy or as primitive as you want. You can put a stain over this or really grunge this up with the coffee grunge that I have pinned at the top of the page. You can find all kinds of different recipes for grunge on Pinterest. That's just the one that I have always used. But I always add more spice and more vanilla because that's my preference. But you can add whatever you want. You just need the coffee, the instant coffee, and the hot water. And you can just stop at that, and your stuff will just smell like coffee. Because this stuff right now only has coffee in it, and it smells so good. So we're going to start with her. She's dry. Now if you whitewash these 10 minutes, they're ready to start working on. So we're going to lay her down on the table. And I got this pop-up again today. So I want to see what you're seeing so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to show you on this bun foot so you can see. We need 3 of these little pieces of craft stick. We need one that goes across the center from edge to edge on the flat surface. We need one that goes in the front from edge to edge, and one in the back that goes edge to edge. Now the best way, let me find my cutters. When you mark off how much you need, put your finger on one side and your thumb on the other right at your line that you're cutting on, and cut. Now this is just a pair of pruners. And cut. Just like this. And by putting your finger, oh, it went flying across the room. It keeps your stick from cracking. Now you can use, like I did the other day, a box cutter on a cutting board and score it and then break it off. But always put your finger and your thumb right where you're cutting, because otherwise this will crack. And on this, it doesn't matter if it cracks. But if you're doing this, making something with these, you don't want them to crack. But that's the best way to, I'll have to find that piece that went flying across the room later. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3 pieces We've already measured them, one for the front, one for the middle, one for the back. So that's what the top of your head is going to look like. Okay? We're going to take these 3 pieces and we're going to use this to put our hair on. So the very front piece is going to be for our bangs. Now this stuff, it's stretchy, it coils back, if I can get a hold of it. It coils back. You can also take your edges and straighten them out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to cut small pieces for bangs. Just small little pieces. So we're going to start off with about 4 pieces. And we're just going to put a bead of hot glue right along the edge of one of these. And be careful you don't burn your fingers. I'm kind of paranoid that since I burnt my finger really bad. And we're just going to stick these little pieces in that glue. Just like that. And we're going to set this aside and let that glue. Now we can go back and add more hair. But we're starting off with 3 little, we got 4 here. Let's add the 4th one. Straight across. There you go. Okay? So then we're going to take the back one. Now the back of the hair you want longer. So we're going to take our long strips. Now this is kind of crazy, but we're going to save that for the center. And just about the same. We can cut these afterward if we don't like the way it looks. So these also, if they're like, this one's really coiled, you can stretch it out a little bit. And this is our back. So we're going to do the same. We're going to put a little bead of glue across and flatten out some of these edges and stick them into that glue. And you may have to add more glue, like I do now, to add more pieces. Because you want the back to be a little fuller, but we don't want it so full that we can't see our wings. Because the hair will go down over the wing. Let's do this one. So there we go. Now we may go back and add more, and we're going to tame this one down so it's not sticking straight out like that too. She's having a bad hair day like I am. So now our middle section, we're going to put glue right down the middle. So you want some longer pieces. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put some across, totally across, and we're going to put some like quarter way off the edge. So we're going to put our glue right down the middle. This will all come together, I promise, and it looks really nice. I already did a couple of them this morning. Got a repairman here again today, so while he was working I was making angels, and he was more amazed at what I was doing than what he was supposed to be doing. So. So this one, I don't know what happened to it on the straw, but when I checked them this morning, this one was like crazy. So I'm going to put it in the center. And add glue as you go. One more long one here. So what do I have on here? 1, 2, 7 pieces. Okay? And we're going to tame this hair down. So we're going to take her, and we're going to set this aside and let this glue set up. We want it to dry. So we're going to take our doily, and this is going to be our wing. Now it's really stiff, but we're going to make it light and airy by adding some more lace and things to it. So I have a piece of wide flat lace, and this I did not stiffen. So let's lay that across the center. And I have a piece of flat lace. And I have some pearls. There's another piece of flat lace. Let me get some more pearls. Now you can build this as many layers as you want. And this is a great way to use up ribbon scraps. Let me get this glue off my finger. It's stuck to my fingernail. So what we're going to do is we're going to, in the center, we're just going to scrunch it. And yes, this doily will scrunch even though it has glue in it. And then we're going to squeeze the center as much as you can flat. Let me turn this around so you can see. And there's what we have. This is going to be our wing. So we're going to take another piece of flat lace, and we're going to wrap all of this together and tie it. The pearls sometimes, because you're not gluing them down, have a mind of their own. So we're just going to pull this around to the back, and we're going to tie this off. And I'm going to tie it really tight. So the strings that's left over from, just let them hang down because they will just blend right in. And then you can fuss with this. Because it has the glue in it, you can bend it and shape it. So there's our wings. So our ties that's left over, we're going to put around our angel and tie it on. And then we're going to come back to these wings and fix them. So we're going to wrap this around and we're going to tie it. Just like, whoops, I can't do it backwards. And I am tying this as tight as I can get it. Now this is not going to show. And I'm going to clip off the edges, the excess. So now what I'm going to do is underneath the wing, I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to put a little glue there. So it's held on by hot glue and that tie. So I didn't put any loose ribbon or pearls in the front of the wing, just in the back, because there's the front of the angel, because we're giving her something in the front. Just hold this for a second. Because you want to hold this until this glue starts to catch, because otherwise your wings will go cockeyed. Now you could only use the doily. Another thing I've used for angel wings in the past, where'd they go? I got stuff everywhere. It's crazy. These snowflakes from Dollar Tree, if you take them and you cut them in half, and they cut very easy with scissors. You can use those as angel wings too. So if you're doing like a real lacy angel, these would make a nice wing. And all it is a Dollar Tree snowflake cut in half. Okay, so there's what we've got. There's her wings. So I'm going to put her down here so you can see what I'm doing with this hair. Okay, this is our bangs. So right in the front, I'm going to put a bead of hot glue and put her bangs on. And then we're going to put the back of her hair on. Now we've only got 4 little strands here. We can add more. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a bead of glue across there in the back, right along the back edge. And we're going to take this stick and glue it there. And that's what the top looks like right now. So then we're taking the center section, and it's going to go right across the center of the hair. And we're going to add more hair to this. So right across where these two come together there, we're going to put this second stick. This tongue, well, mine are tongue depressors, but they're just craft sticks. The only difference between the two is tongue depressors are individually wrapped. And we're going to press this there. And I'm going to hold all 3 of these. So that's what we have so far. I can get all the glue strings off of her. They're stuck in her curls. So that's what we have so far. So from here, whoops, that one moved. It's not glued enough. We're going to take some more of our pearls, and we're just going to add them in And all we're doing is covering up what you can see of the craft stick. Now I got the craft sticks, but on Amazon I got a box of 100. Now they come individually wrapped because they're tongue depressors is how they were marketed, but they were only $3. Now if you can find them at Dollar Tree, grab them, because that's one thing that you can hardly find. It's one of the things. Now see, what I'm doing is I'm just pulling these individual curls and taming some of this hair. Okay. So from on this one, what I can see, she needs more toward the back to cover up the center craft stick. And it doesn't matter the length, because you know your hair's not all one length, or most people, unless you're like my granddaughters. And we're just pressing it in there. And if you don't glue yourself to the angel's head too, let me see. We need a little bit up front. So see, I have the tiniest little piece. So something like this, you can use up all these little bits. And I'm going to put it toward the front. So that's what the top of her hair looks like. Now we can give her a haircut, which I think she does need. Oh, glue strings. So I'm just going to snip off some of this. I'm not going to cut. I want her to have long hair, but it doesn't need to be the 14-inch like that. So I'm just going to cut some of this off. Now, if you like the really long hair, then leave it really long. Now, you could also use raffia, Spanish moss for hair. Spanish moss looks really nice on an angel for hair. So let's add a couple more here on the side. You can make this as thick as you want, but she doesn't need, in my opinion, she doesn't need really thick hair. She just needs some hair. Now we're going to give her a halo too, and you're going to be surprised what I'm using as a halo. But we have to do the front of her too. I'm glued myself to the angel. Okay, we're going to set her aside and let all of this glue set up. Okay, let's move this hair out of the way, because I have more of it I got to make today, but I used 100 straws yesterday and ran out. Okay, so we're taking some flat lace, and we're taking some of the pearls, and I have some skinny flat lace, all different kinds I got here. You can also use, this is muslin. If you take muslin and do it with straws to make corkscrews, it makes pretty hair. So we're just going to pull a bunch of this out. So what we're going to do is, I'm thinking right at her neck, we're going to take a piece of this wide flat lace. We're just going to make it hang down there. So I'm going to dovetail all my ends. So we got one big piece of lace, and we're going to build on top of this. So these can be all lengths. So if you have a bunch of scraps, like that's what I'm using, this is a great time to use all of those scraps up, because I even keep the tiniest of scraps. Now, if you don't have a scrap ribbon, you can buy little things of lace and ribbon at Walmart for like $1. You can use all the same, you can use different. It's totally up to you. So I'm doing 2 of each one of these. Some of them are longer, some are shorter. This is a piece of muslin that we've ripped off of something. So I'm going to use that too. And then the pearls. Now I'm going to add probably 3 strings of different lengths. So you see, I'm really measuring. This is real technical measurements I'm doing here. Okay? So I'm going to get this all together. And I'm going to use another piece of, this is the lace we use for the hair. And I want it kind of long. So I'm going to wrap it around the center, almost like we did the wings. Wrap it around the center. Bring it up and tie it in the back. And I'm pulling it tight. And I'm going to take this is what we've got, just a rough version of a refab bow. So we're going to take this and we're going to tie it around her neck. So now we're going to work with this. We're going to take this big, the flat, the real wide, and we're going to pull it toward the back. I'll pull all of this in one hand, and I'm going to pull this down in the back because I want this wide in the back. And we're going to fuss with this, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue in the bow. Right where the knot is, I'm going to add some glue. And all that's going to do is help these pearls not come out, because these pearls will work their way out if they're not glued. So that's the purpose of this. Okay? And we'll make sure my flat lace is in the back. and just pull down on both sides of all of this. And it's going to hang down the front of her. So now I've got some buttons. I have this one that looks like a fan. I thought maybe and I have a pearl shank button to put on there. I'm not sure. Yes, I'm going to cut the shank off this button. Anybody ever goes through my buttons, and I've got, hundreds, thousands of them, going to find shanks off my buttons, and they're going to think, what is she doing with all of those shankless buttons? So I'm just going to glue this little pearl button right on top of this fan button, and I'll cut the shanks off of both. I'm just going to glue them together. Just like that. And then I'm going to glue that right where the knot is on her, the ribbons that are hanging down the front. And try not to burn myself. And that's what we've got so far. Now I think her hair could be cut a little bit more. We want to see her wings. But doilies make really pretty wings. Let me work on this one here because it's wild. And if you have to, you have a real wild one of these, you can put a little bit of glue up underneath of it to hold it. Or just squeeze, cup your hands around and squeeze. There, that did it. That did it. So that's what we've got so far. So we fancied up her wings with all this, and then we have this, all of this somewhat of a bow in the front. This is called a refab bow. If you don't follow refab, she does fabulous stuff. She's the one who came up with this kind of bow. Okay, what we're using for the halo is a hoop earring. This is a double hoop. So for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, you can get 2 halos. So what I thought about with this pearl, maybe we could wrap it around the inside hoop. See what that looks like. So if you have broken jewelry, don't throw it away because we craft with it. Let me cut off a string of this. Let's see what this looks like before I glue it. So we're only doing the inside ring. This is a double hoop. And I'm going to loosely put it around so you still see some of the gold. I think that'll be cute. Let me continue wrapping this around. Hopefully this string is long enough that I cut. So we could have went back and forth and covered both hoops with this pearl. That would have been pretty. So we craft from every department in every store, even jewelry. You don't wear jewelry? Use the earrings. You can pick earrings up in thrift stores, flea markets. You just need the hoop. And the size of the hoop depends on the size of your angel. You can use those the little bracelets if you're doing a bigger angel. So there's what we've got. So what I'm going to do is, where the post is in the back, I'm going to like tuck it into her hair. And I don't want this flat on her head. I want it at an angle. Yeah. So I'm going to put some glue right where the post is and up to where the pearls start on both sides. And I'm going to angle this so it's not completely flat on her head. It's sticking up just a little bit, and I'm going to hold this. So all these videos are being uploaded to the YouTube channel, and there's a link on my page to that. But you can always find them too on Facebook. And remember the contest, like, share, and comment. You have to do all three. The day after Thanksgiving, I'm going to do a drawing, and anything that was made the month of November, you can win. So there we go. There's her halo. See, it's sticking up off of her head a little bit. So I mean, you can have it flat if you want. So what do you think? Now we're going to do several angels. I have another type of an angel that we're going to be doing that's not with the wood post, the table leg. And there's her wings. Now we definitely could have taken lace and made a dress to put on her. We could even put a light in her hands. We could put arms on her and put a light in her hands. And maybe we'll do one like that. We'll put a light on her. I like to keep these videos 30 to 45 minutes, not to keep you all so long. But I hope you like it. Let me know. If you watch us on replay, make sure you put hashtag replay, because that helps my analytics with Facebook. And since I've been doing these videos, we're getting a lot of new members, which is the whole purpose of this. Okay. Thanks. See you, Mom. Have a great day, everybody.